Alright, you guys, let's talk about plants here for a second. I am in my usual gardening attire, which means flip-flops and a bathrobe. So therefore, I will not be on screen for this video. But I really wanted to show you basically what you're going to deal with when you're first starting out establishing a bed, especially a bed that used to be a rock bed. You can see a lot of the stones. I did sift through a good amount of stones, but life will kind of naturally move through these stones. I pick them out as, every year or two as they kind of unearth themselves, but the biology in the soil will eventually take care of and create enough passageways to where water, air, and roots can pass throughout. Also, I've got a ton of worms in here already doing their job. And this thing, if you want to do it organically, it takes time. It's not good to just dig the whole thing up, sift through all of it. You'll kill like all of your organisms in that process. So it actually sets you back farther than you realize. It'll take much longer if you're trying to do it organically. If you're not, then like by all means, like dig the whole thing up, do what you got to do. But this is permaculture, organic gardening that I'm going to be teaching you, which requires a more delicate process and patience and time. So here's what we're dealing with. I have some gorgeous flowers doing their job, drawing in pollinators. These beans were planted out with a good amount of fresh compost and everything. They germinated really, really well, and then they just started getting eaten alive. That's because the biology in place in this bed is not ready yet. It's not ready. It'll still grow some things, but it's not ready to give me perfect production. And this is when people tend to just go, they'll get fertilizers, they'll get pesticides, and they'll just nuke it and set themselves back even further. But no, we're going to be patient, we're going to be understanding, we're going to be loving. So because this didn't come up thick and full like it was planted, the weeds are still very present. They still have plenty of things, plenty of space to spread out in here. This soil is too bare right now, and also, like, as the pests have destroyed these, it's just creating more openings for sun to be baking on it as we heat up this summer, killing more organisms, evaporating the hydration, so many things, so this is a great example of what to expect when you're first establishing a new bed. Okay, now I want to show you some contrast over here. This was also a new bed, okay, but because it's raised up, I was able to put a lot of really good organic material up really nice and high, and so it had a better start. This was more just placing I would say about 4 inches, which is a good amount, but like that's not enough for things to just flourish, okay? And again, it needs time. And strawberries are really great at just spreading out like weeds super fast. So now that soil is protected, those organisms are actually able to populate. They're doing much better. The pest problem is all but eliminated. And then you come over here where I haven't allowed the strawberries. I'll keep coming in, kind of clipping these out, because I do like this area for peas. I'll usually have some cosmos or something popping up in here. So we've got some weeds. See the difference? You come in under here, you got strawberries, no weeds. Yummy yum. All right, then we've got our super tunia still doing really well, and then this bed is even better. Notice the weed suppression. Even though it's relatively bare, weeds don't do super well and thrive super well in really healthy soil. They don't want that. They want poor. And there's a reason for that. Nature built that as like a fail-safe, so the weeds come in first with their thick tap roots and their basic requirements and their basic needs, and they start drilling and they start creating passageway. They release compaction, they cover the soil really quickly, and then organisms are able to grow, which keep improving the soil and making it so that your more perennial plants will actually have a chance, and etc. Like, it's a whole process. So this has tons of organic material, tons of it. It's like basically all compost with a little bit of the topsoil in it. So, and everything just thrives in here. We've got carrots coming up, we've got tons of cosmos that are volunteers, and I'm just like, meh, let this be flowers. We've got sweet peas looking perfect. I've got my garlic is doing pretty darn well. I'm seeing some possibilities, some signs of rust here. But honestly, I don't mind if I don't get a huge bulb. It's still delicious. So, and rust is just something that happens sometimes. And you just roll with it. These sweet peas are doing great. So yeah, this is just a great example of kind of expectations, okay? Set your expectations realistically and be patient, and it will have huge payoffs. It really will, I promise.